Hey, what's up, guys? I hope you're enjoying the Be the Difference podcast. If you are, I got a huge favor to ask. Go on to Apple Podcasts, leave a 5-star review for us. It helps us immensely with algorithms and growth because we grow completely by word of mouth, organically. That's why there are no ads. Also, feel free to share this content with somebody you think might get value out of it. Last, if you don't know, I also do coaching to help people become the best version of themselves, starting with physical fitness, going all the way through mindset, sales, and leadership. If you're interested in learning more, there's going to be a link in the description of the podcast. You can schedule a time. It's a free assessment. All I'm going to do is have a conversation with you and see if I can even help you. I look forward to speaking to all of you. Continue to enjoy the podcast, and remember to always be the difference. What's up, everybody? It's Greg with Delta, and this is the Be the Difference podcast. This podcast is all about making you a better person in your life and in your business with coaching on sales, leadership, mindset, marketing, everything under the sun when it comes to being an entrepreneur. And we bring on guest speakers. I'm going to try not to butcher your name because we didn't practice this beforehand. But I got today with me, Jeff Giagnocavo.
Well, that second G hung you up, didn't it?
Yeah.
If that second G wasn't there, give it another crack.
Yeah. Jeff Giagnocavo.
Giagnocavo. Yeah.
Giagnocavo.
Yeah.
Giagnocavo.
Yeah. That second G is
a hard one.
It is. It's the second G there is one of those Ellis Island inserts. It's one of those things that happened to a lot of families that immigrated where their paperwork just got kind of messed up, or maybe somebody was having a bad day in the checkout line that day. But in the old country, it's Giagnocavo, but man, I spelled that in kindergarten. I've hung on to it ever since. So Giagnocavo it is.
I like it. So for those of you that don't know Jeff does business in your bedroom. He co-owns Gardner's Mattress and More, the region's premier better sleep store. He is fanatical about the 5-star experience and has gathered thousands of 5-star reviews. His book, Sleep Better, has helped thousands of people wake up happy too. As a driven entrepreneur, he has licensed both his own custom software and educational marketing materials to others in his industry and in other industries. Jeff's marketing skills and knowledge are regularly featured and acknowledged online in books and in magazines. He is best suited working with clients in a fractional variety or visionary role with high-performing integrators who realize they can hit new levels, but just need an ally and visionary to support their efforts to get there. I'm excited about this conversation. I like to talk about marketing.
Yeah. Oh, I can jam on some marketing for sure.
Yeah. Especially when it comes to the client experience, right?
Mm-hmm.
I've been having conversations with my agents here recently a lot about just focusing on providing like an undeniably great client experience, which is how you can scale your book of business deeper and reduce your CPA. Because then they'll become raving fans and they'll bring people to you.
Mm-hmm.
So
absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. So I think maybe a good way to start off the conversation around marketing would be with a recent failure my retail store had. How's that sound?
That sounds great. Let's do it.
Not how most people will usually start out, right? But it's appropriate.
Yeah.
So I think marketing it directly dovetails into customer experience. And I'll start with advertising, and the way people find you can be an experience. Mm. And, through the lens of mattress retailing, because it's a business I own, I have direct influence on it. Some of the other stuff I do, I can't talk about because I'm signed up on it, or they would just prefer I don't. But you can go, as you get to know me, as you look in the show notes, you'll see all the stuff I'm involved in. But so I speak a lot through the retail store because it's like my lab, right? Like I'm the mad scientist, so to say. And so we recently got a 1-star review, and you would think on the surface it was unearned. And I'll say all of the 4 that we have been earned over the years, over the 12 years. This one, the customer was disappointed that they didn't get a phone call after they paid for the mattress and we delivered it. And the review said as much. They said, so much for customer service, paid the money, they delivered my product, didn't hear anything else. Now, our software, our CRM in the background had a little hiccup, and that's why that mistake happened. And you would think, reading that, you're like, well, what's this person's problem? What do they want them to do? Like wash the sheets for them on their bed too? But here's the thing. We have a 7-step wake up happy promise that we communicate. Step 7 is we're not going to one night stand you. We are going to call you and follow up and make sure you're loving what you've bought from us. And I bet this customer was screwed over by somebody else and loved step 7. They liked the idea of not being one night stand because that happened before. It happened in our thing because I forget which way it went. My business partner handles this. Either the software plugin was working with the dashes in the phone number, or it wasn't, and the inverse happened, and the task just didn't port over. It failed. Okay, and that's how it happened. Now, I offered to this customer, hey, I've left you a message, I've replied to your review, I've sent you an email as well and a text. I'd love to talk with you about this and how I can make you happy. But how people find you can be an experience, and it can be pretty special. It's more than just, come to me for all of your needs, come to me for this at this price. It can be an experience. And I'll stop there and see if you have anything you want me to circle in on, or I can continue.
I want to dig in on your CRM actually. What kind of,
Okay.
are you using a third party? Do you guys have a proprietary CRM that you created, or like a third party software?
So we have for the furniture and mattress industry, we have what we call AMP, Automatic Mattress Profit. So it's a white labeled CRM. It's on the back of Infusionsoft Keep. I've got no problem saying that. But how we work it and how our clients work it is very different from how they would have you work their thing. So we've put together, I think it's 4 or 5 different pieces of third parties that dovetail into the Infusionsoft Keep network. And then we had some custom code done. So we mash that all together, and it creates the CRM that we use and we license out. And it's all built through the lens of moving leads into prospects, prospects into customers, customers into fans, and then customers into referrals.
Okay.
So I can break down what that does.
Yeah. Break down the workflow a little bit, because I'm actually interested how you guys have that set up.
Yep.
And like thinking about that workflow, because most of the listening audience are insurance agents, and I'll be honest, like this is even for me, CRM education and proper usage is not really something that's done in the insurance industry.
Right.
I think it's a massive oversight and a failure on well, for the most part, for the IMOs that are all independent. Now, if you're looking at like the actual like the big name companies that are captive, that have been around forever, that you see commercials on, I think they probably do a lot better job of it. But for the most part, for my experiences, CRMs are just kind of like, yeah, you just put your client information in there and that's it. And then you're done.
Well, it becomes a digital Rolodex,
Yes.
and it becomes a digital Rolodex that wasn't updated from 1977 through 1987. It just becomes this digital depository. If you don't think through the workflow, the best CRM is the one that's going to work with you and your day and the way you work your day. Okay. And that was a lot of words, but if you listen to it, it's like we're humans. We're trying to overlay this digital robotic like effort over human behavior. So it needs to overlay with how the human's going to operate. Right. And for me, I look at CRMs as leads. So these are people that can raise their hand through advertising and exchange cursory information, name and phone number, name and email, for a nugget of content, right? That might be a book. It might be a tip sheet. It might be a discovery call. Okay. Those people are leads. So until they've taken another step, they can't be a prospect. To me, a prospect is somebody that's spent time. They've gotten on a phone call where you assess their financial situation. You do a Zoom call as a kitchen remodeler where they're standing in their kitchen and you're walking them through how they cook so you can unlock a better kitchen right there on the phone with them. That's like a discovery call for a kitchen remodeler, which you might not have heard of, but that's what I put in for the guys I work with. Customers are just that. They're people that have transacted business with you. but you can catalog that moment differently than just saying customer who's done, $1,000 with me versus a customer who's done $50,000 with me, right? You shouldn't be treating both those customers the same. And then fans, these are people, have you earned the right for them to go tell the story, right? Are they reviewing? Are they giving referrals? And then ultimately you want the tail end to be referrals that immediately loops back around to the front.
Yeah.
So through that lens, now you got to build the CRM. Now you got to make it work. And it's got to dovetail into the day. So anything you want me to dig in there, or I can continue on?
Let's continue on. I like
Okay.
that. I'm digging everything you're saying right now. This is good. This is good information, especially for those of you listening. If you're having issues with CRMs or you're not utilizing your CRM to its full capacity, I think understanding this and building out workflows that fit what Jeff's saying here, it fit the way that you work and fit your day, is going to help you to be more productive, and it's going to help you to work your every single person that enters into the funnel to the next step in the process and to continue the nurturing process along the way.
Yeah. I mean, a CRM can really be an amazing system for a business of any size. If you shared your corporate counterparts, I would hope they've got a CRM for their agents. My goodness.
Yeah.
Right. But I bet you they're looking at it through a very corporatized, sanitized approach. So I'll dig into the customer vertical of things right away. So for my teams, the people who are on the teams using our solutions, they don't log in using a username and password because that can screw things up, right? Because in the backs of these CRMs, you've got tags and code, and you can uncheck a box and then things don't happen. Kind of like what happened with that 1-star review and the issue with the phone number.
Yeah.
So through the customer silo in our CRM, here are some things that happen. So we make a sale through our point of sale system. The email comes over to the RSA's inbox, says you need to complete this form. We've scraped everything we can from that sales ticket. Now it's, we don't have like enterprise level system here. We have, as I said, we've Frankenstein things. And we did it this way because as we go out to other clients, we can't possibly plan for every single point of sale that's out there. So we scrape that data from a PDF invoice that gets mailed. The front facing member checks boxes, does some drop downs. It takes 30 seconds. And those boxes that we're filling are, what are those next actions? I said, don't treat a customer that spent $1,000 versus $50,000 the same. Based on that number that we put in of the value of the sale, certain things are going to happen. Certain gifts are going to fire off. Maybe it's one gift, maybe it's 3. That happens automatically. A thank you card gets populated automatically. Here's what else we capture. So in the mattress world, just to educate your listeners, you've got mattress types that are flexible, bendable. The head can elevate, the feet can elevate with an adjustable bed base, right? Some folks buy that mattress, but they don't see value in the bed base today. Well, we catalog that. And if they haven't bought the bed base, we click a button in 6 months up to a year thereafter, and then annually beyond, we're positioning to buy back your box spring and sell you an adjustable bed base because you've only unlocked half the potential of what you could have. All of that happens automatically from one simple 30-second entry. There's reviews that kick off. There's requests for referrals that kick off. You're added to our broadcast list. If you've been a finance customer and there's a great finance offering that comes out from our finance partner, we can send a specific email message to just those folks. Because we catalog what bedroom you bought, but you got 3 other bedrooms.
Yeah.
If you just bought a guest bed from us and you bought a nice guest bed, that's like the best customer for us possible. Because if your guest bed is $1,500, what's the master bedroom going to be?
Yeah.
Right. And we can look in precisely at pipeline and see, all right, well, here's potential for revenue over here. Here's potential for revenue over here. They haven't been exactly responding the way we like to the regular messages. Let's send a one-off message and try to create some alchemy and create some money while delivering a good value and a good experience to the customer. And at a high level, I kind of dug down maybe at 5,000 feet. That's where CRM should be working for you, as opposed to you just kind of going in, pulling a report. I guess I got to call these 10 people today. You want 10 people to be receiving 10 unique messages while you're on that discovery call, while you're at that networking event, or while you're at that golf tournament, right? You want it working for you.
So you basically have it set up that depending upon the kind of thing that they are, the service or the suite that they buy will depend upon the messaging sequence that goes.
Mm-hmm.
So they could be, so how many different unique sequences do you have?
Hard question to answer because it's very dependent upon what you've bought. But if we're just looking at that master bedroom client who has not bought that bed base, they're going to get some communications. And we also track, did you buy a mattress protector? Because animals, humans are animals and we're filthy.
Yeah.
Even clean ones.
Yeah.
You can put about a pint to 2 pints of fluid into your bed monthly from sweat. Skin cells go in. A mattress, like I say, is a sponge. It collects all of life's moments that happen in bed.
Yeah.
So a protector isn't a money grab. It's a put this on your bed and sleep in a really clean environment. And here's some things about that. So we really want everybody to get those. So those are sequences that kick off if you didn't. Sheets. We sell wonderful sheets, guaranteed to stay off. We'll send a little sequence out with a little video showing how the sheets cannot be pulled off. So there's a whole lot of if and then around that main purchase. You're getting maybe that comeback offer for the bed base. You're on our weekly email list where we're broadcasting out what we're doing in our podcast show that we do for the store, which isn't about us. It's about our community.
Yeah.
There's a little offer about what's going on at the bottom. So you get that. You're now tasked to get those customer gifts. So say you spent $5,000 with us, you're going to have 3 gifts show up in a course of about 180 days, I believe it is. Brownies with a thank you and a referral card. Sea salt caramels, same card. Chocolate covered pretzels, same card. That's going out. You've gotten the request to give us a testimonial on Google or on Facebook, or mail it back in. We send along a PDF form you can print out, handwrite, mail back in, which we actually get a lot of those. So there's a whole lot of things that happen, and that's just out of the bucket of customer, where a lot of folks would just kind of wrap it up and say, okay, we did business, great, I'm on to the next. We're trying to get as much as we can. The other thing we do is we do catalog bedrooms, number of bedrooms, and which bedroom it is that this purchase was for today. Because now we can make other offers.
That is phenomenal.
Yep. And that's just the mattress store guy.
Yeah.
Right. Like,
so how long have you been in business with Mattress, or just been an entrepreneur?
So I've been an entrepreneur. I've spent 2 years of my adult life on a W-2. So I'm 43, so 21 years. I've been in the furniture and mattress industry for 20 of those 21 years. And in retail, 12 years I've had that interest.
How did you come up with this? How did you learn or educate yourself on these practices when it comes to CRM workflows, marketing?
It was through studying Dan Kennedy, direct response marketing.
Okay.
Have you ever heard of Dan?
I have Kennedy? Not, yeah. But I'm gonna go look him up now.
He is the godfather to pretty much anybody that you're seeing online now presenting marketing solutions. He's kind of like he's one of the bedrock foundational people in marketing for Main Street small business marketing of our lifetime, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah. Does he have a book?
So, oh my gosh, he's got a ton of them. Yeah.
Okay.
Actually, this bookcase behind me on video doesn't normally have that stuff. I had a flood in the first floor of our house. So actually it appears good on camera, but everything else behind me is a mess, including all of my Dan Kennedy books. Yeah, he has the No BS series on time management, customer experience, selling to boomers and seniors. There's a whole library of them. So definitely appropriate for you, for your industry, for sure.
Yeah. I'm going to go look.
That's where I got the start. And
was it books that you read, or did he have like a program that you paid for and like learned from?
He has programs, courses that, Dan in name is just Dan in name at this point. He had some health issues at the end of his career. He's working with private clients only. He basically sold his IP off to um, Russell Brunson. Now owns it from ClickFunnels.
Okay.
So if you've ever heard of Russell Brunson and
I have heard of
ClickFunnels,
Russell.
yeah. So Russell was a Dan student, spent a lot of time learning from Dan, and bought all of that from the prior companies that owned it. So he gets to use Dan's name. You'll see all that, but Russell owns that company and runs it now. But that's where I learned
actually saw an ad recently.
Probably.
With Russell Brunson talking about Dan Kennedy. I had a picture of him. It was like, hey, he purchased all this, but the name didn't ring a bell until you're talking about it right now.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
it was through the study of him and application. I got into that world because I was on the road selling things to other retailers, representing various factories. And in part of our industry, it's very legacy driven. You've got grandfathers that represented the old Hickory family down in North Carolina. And that factory line got passed to the father and then to the grandson. Well, I came in outside of that legacy line of getting into the industry. And 2008 was coming around, the recession was coming on. I'm like, I have to give something different to my dealers. I can't just be the guy that comes to sell them things. I need to help them sell things.
Yeah.
So I studied marketing and Dan, and that's how it all came to be.
This is phenomenal. This talking about like how you have this set up, because I'm thinking about it for like an insurance perspective of nurturing campaign that maybe you sit down with somebody and they do a term policy, but then you're like, hey, let's still look at you maybe looking at a tax-free retirement with an IUL and reallocating funds you're putting in your 401k because your 401k is with money right now, or this, that, the other, or hey, your kids are young, let's put an IUL on them. Like all these different, you can put in all these different factors that can start these messaging sequences. It's automatic.
Yep.
That generates more policies or more business, but also doing one for a review, doing one for referrals, and then having the sequence completely go out. That's phenomenal.
Yeah. I mean, if it were me doing it, I would be sitting down in a real consultative role, asking what the goals are. Maybe you don't have goals yet. Here's what goals could be or should be.
Yeah.
And then what's the timeline, right? Because nobody likes to be sold. Nobody likes to be pressured, especially in this day and age. You and your agents probably have 20, 30, 40 years of experience. Today, with the power of the internet, my grandfather, when he had 25 years in at the lumber yard where he was a master cabinet maker, making cabinets, they gave him a gold Rolex. I have nearly 25 years in this industry, and I have customers tell me, no, you're wrong. The internet says this. The skepticism is so freaking high anymore.
Yeah.
And the second you turn this page of it's time to sell you exactly what you came here for, people are like, oh, whoa, slow down there, Mr. Sleazy sales guy, right? That's how it gets approached. And so if you start out with a consultative approach of where's your life at now? Where do you feel you've won financially? Where do you feel you're behind the curve financially? Did you know there's these vehicles? Here's what the first step is, but here's the plan that I see. Now you go and program that plan into your communications in the CRM. You don't have to worry about dropping the ball. It works for you.
Yeah.
That's how I would approach it.
Yeah, I like that. I like that a lot. You're giving me some ideas. So
yeah.
That's great. I mean, we have different CRMs that we use, but most insurance agents use white labeled Go High Level CRMs.
I've been hearing a lot about that one as of late. I've got some friends in my network that are premier, like Go High Level users and sellers and resellers. I am very agnostic on the tool, how you swing the tool. That's where I talk, and that's where I come in. Yep. Yep.
Okay. And when you started implementing this into your business, obviously you didn't start doing it the way you're doing it now. Talk about the evolution of that and like what you saw it do to your overall sales in terms of the increase of revenue, increase of referrals,
Yep.
how fast were you able to scale 5-star reviews, etc.?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it is all very evolutionary in that leads silo of things. What we did right out of the gate, my business partner and I bought the existing business that he worked for, which was one of my retailers going back to 2011 when we bought it and reopened. We took the What's Keeping You Up at Night mattress buying guide. They had no list from before. The list was a whole bunch of triplicate paper invoices with staples from credit card receipts and financing applications in the upper left corner. We took that. I found a place that could scan them and scrape the data into a list. So I'm sitting there with a paper cutter slicing off all those corners of staples to get rid of the junk. We upload that list. So we take all those leads and we now say, we're Ben and Jeff. We've purchased Gardners. We're really excited about the next step for Gardners in the community. At this point, it was 20 years in. We're going to carry it forward. And, here's a little gift to help you wake up happier and help you buy a mattress, your next mattress. Whether that's from us or not, we don't care. But as a thank you for supporting Gardners over the years and look at what we're doing in the future, here's this little gift. And we mailed about 10,000 copies of that. And that began our list. And then we were able to track some responses because it was an offline to online maneuver where to unlock all the gifts we had for you, which was savings in the store. Go here, give us your name and email. So we went from about 10,000 hard addresses to about an email list of about 1,500. So 15% throughput, which is very, very strong.
That's really good for direct mail response.
Right. Yeah. Typically it's measured in 2s and 3s, but we had some good things. We had a good relationship. People were sleeping on product that they were happy with. They knew the store. They maybe drove by, saw it was closing. So when they saw exciting news that a new version is opening up on the other side of town, why wouldn't you participate in that offer?
Yeah.
Right. And so that began the beginning of it. And throughout the years, we just bolted on these things. We understood that you have to take a lead, somebody that just has given you an email. You have to do something to get them to come in. So maybe that's an offer. Maybe that's a seminar. I'm doing a seminar tomorrow off of our book, Sleep Better. This time, though, it's at Universal Athletic Club locally. Really nice upper end club, 6,000 members. It's our prime audience. So we're putting the message out there. What our CRM allows us to do is do things like that. Create pages on our website where it just drops names and emails in all the time. And we're just marking everything. They submit a form, that form tags them, puts them in a bucket on the back end. Okay. As far as like scaling up, getting reviews, getting referrals, what I can tell you is about 60% of our business comes from repeat and referral business. I think it's about 63. It's massive.
Yeah, it's massive.
It's massive. So where we spend money, advertising is in niche verticals because I don't necessarily need to go after the average mattress buyer because I've got a machine running of repeat customers who are repeating and who are referring to where it's about 6 out of 10 of our sales. So I advertise in niches, natural and organic mattresses, affluent magazines, affluent neighborhoods we'll direct mail into. But I don't do a lot of big broadcast media anymore because I don't have to.
Dude, that's 60%. That's massive.
Yep. Yeah.
That's fantastic.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you.
So what would you say if you were to give somebody some strategies or tips in order to improve their client experience or nurturing process and to create those raving fans? What are some tips that you'd give?
First thing is remove yourself as far away as possible from just making the exchange. All right. They came to me for a term policy. I gave them a term policy. They moved on. I moved on. Right. So it goes back to that, how you onboard that conversation. Tell me, where do you feel you've won financially? Where have your wins been? Where have your losses been? What were the things you thought were going to be great, but didn't turn out? Bring that person on and give them some education, give them some information, some things that they didn't know they should be asking, and lay out what that journey with you can look like.
Mm.
And you're going to answer the main question today. We're going to write that term policy today. But I look to work in relationships with people. So I need to understand where you are and where your goals are going to be. And maybe I can be a part of that to help you. But if not, here's the roadmap as I see it. And you can give that to them. I'm a big believer in creating that experience. I'm a big believer that you need an authority piece. So that can be a book, it could be a tip sheet, something that makes you stand out more than a business card, right? That's one of the big steps. The second one is those experiential touch points. And it can be in advertising. Advertising can be an experience. How you just greet people and talk to them on the initial call. We're big on tell me why you're in the store shopping for a mattress today. And sometimes you get rebuffed and they're like, well, it's been 20 years, time for a new one. Okay, well, tell me why today, out of all of what would that be? 2 times 365 out of 7,200 plus days. Why was this morning the day you decided to come in and get rid of that old mattress? Mm-hmm. And it's usually that second or third layer of tell me that you get to the real answer.
You get to their why.
Right. And it's you saying, tell me why, maybe 4 or 5 words, and it's them talking for 20 minutes. Yeah. And so you're listening, right? And you should be making a couple notes. And that can be an experience because they're actually getting out and sharing what it is they need to get done. That can be an experience. Laying out that roadmap of, okay, we're here to solve this financial issue, this financial goal today. But did you know there's more? And laying out what that journey looks like. And then they leave with it, whether they do business with you or not. And I don't know if there's any like financial regulation things to worry about with that, what I just said. But if there is, you'll do it in the way that it makes all your compliance people happy. But giving them that roadmap, that's a good deposit into the relationship. And then what you do with it is important. So they give you the policy, 3 months goes by, you recommended, you circle back on, they were going to clean up some credit card debt. They were going to talk to their kids about, retirement and who's going to get the house or whatever. They're waiting on you to follow up. They don't forget, because it's only you and maybe one other financial people on their mind. They're going to remember you. You have the opportunity to forget them because you have 100 different customers, prospects, whoever on your mind. So when you don't reach out in the time you said they were watching, and that's a negative experience. So those different touch points make sense to put into place. For me, it's been building that machine has just led to an incredible business. Like I'm sitting here right now, I have a cold water ice therapy on my left knee. I had my knee replaced 6 weeks ago. I was at my business for the first time in 6 weeks on Monday, and sales were great. No fires. By and large, that one-star review came in. Nothing bad happened. It's because we have this engine that makes our business work.
And so it sounds like, you guys white labeled it. You said that you added some other third-party services into it. So you kind of built it out yourself.
We did. Yep.
Now you mentioned that you work with other industries or other companies to kind of help them. Mm-hmm. Is that something that you offer also for any industry? Like, hey, we'll come look at your CRM processes or your client nurturing processes.
Yep. Yeah. And so in my big ticket life business, which is my podcast show and my consulting brand, I, as you said in my intro, I work with integrators who, they stick to the insurance industry events. They stick to what the insurance industry does. I've got a deck builder that I work with. He goes to the deck building conferences. He doesn't go to marketing conferences. He doesn't go and get in a room with 5 or 6 other peers that have different kinds of businesses and talk. He doesn't mastermind outside the business. That's where I come in. So yes, I can look at a CRM. I can look at a structure. I can write out a structure of how a business should operate. But then what I do is I'll pass that off to a referral to go build it. I'm not the guy to sit here and build it for you. But I can lay out the structure, the engineer and the GC of it. That's me. The people punching the keys, they go and build it.
Yeah.
Yep.
No, that's phenomenal. I'm very intrigued.
Yep.
My wheels are spinning, bro. Because it's
Yeah.
like, this is, I didn't even expect the conversation to go here at all.
Yep.
That's something that I feel that is, like I said, it's completely overlooked.
Yeah.
Marketing and CRM, and honestly, like the way I've been seeing this for a long time, because the way that the industry operates right now is basically one of two, maybe three methods. Um, actually, one of three methods. One is having a big book of business. Like a lot of captive companies have massive, massive, massive books of business that they've been nurturing for decades. Since they've been in operation since like the
Yep.
early 1900s, right? And so they have that ability because they're so deep. They have so many like lines of families that they're like, they've protected the great grandfather, the grandfather, the father, the kids, all the way through
Yep.
grandkids, and they've built those relationships. And so there's some of those families, like no matter what, they're not going anywhere else. But there's still a lot of people that need insurance and people that are underinsured. And so
Mhm.
then you have the companies that are doing all your warm market, like, hey, go call your friends, go call your family, that this, that, the other, and that's how you're basically making your sales. And then for the most part, you have leads. So there's a large portion of the majority of the industry that's all independent agents are buying leads, and that's where my niche is either we generate leads through marketing efforts. It's like I learned how to generate my own leads. I actually had a click funnel that I went through, click funnels with
Mhm.
Russell Brunson, that I created my own click funnel, and I
Yep.
started learning how to generate my own leads, and just to have higher intentionality. And what I'm noticing, and I've seen this since I've been in the industry, is that leads are just increasing in cost by like Facebook leads have increased by 250% since I started,
Mhm.
and
Yep.
it's only going to get more expensive. So this this
100%.
model this model that we're currently doing is coming to a close. So not a close,
Right.
but it's going to get unsustainable for the amount of agents that are coming on board. It just will. And so having systems like this are going to be key in order
Right.
for an organization to survive and thrive, because the mark of a good organization is, as your CPA, as your sales go up, your CPA goes down.
Mhm.
And that means you have a product that is people are raving about, and you're
Yep.
becoming viral because of your service, because of your processes, your systems, and your product.
Yeah. And I would just challenge too on when you have a well built out ecosystem that's actively working for you, you're not doing it. People are working through it on their own,
Mhm.
from that lead to that prospect to that customer to that fan stage. When that's happening, so yes, Facebook ads have gone up 250%. It might make it unsustainable as you view it today. However, if you have a built out robust ecosystem working for you, maybe you can afford to go to 300% increase of cost,
Yeah.
because they were a good lead that was acquired from a good offer with good information, and the longer they work through the process, they do become customers, right? So you can actually spend a little more because you're getting more on the back end. Yeah, like I just had a call for a group that I coach today, um, in the industry, and I showed a stat of how 3% are buyer aware, like they're ready to buy in the market now. 17% are only gathering information. 20% are like, yeah, someday, and 60% they're just not thinking about it at all. The problem with most advertising is it only speaks to that 3% that's ready right now today.
Mhm.
So for every dollar you spend, 3 pennies of it, if you're equating it direct dollar for dollar, 3 cents of it only speaks to the three people looking. But if you have a unique offer, a unique process by to take somebody to a lead all the way to a fan, you can put things in that ad about, we've wrote the book on how to wake up happy and pain free. Get it here. So now if you're in that aware or gathering information stage, that ad spend we saved money because we just created somebody on our list, and that has value.
Mhm.
So, you know, you can
That's
spend money differently and think about it differently.
Yeah. As I've been going in the industry, I've found that I want to spend I want to have less of my marketing spend go towards lead spend and more of the marketing spend going towards client
Customers.
retention.
Yep.
And because retention is so much more important than acquisition.
Oh yeah, 100%. I mean, I love spending on experience. So what I mean by that is like we have, when you go to a casino and it smells really good, even though there's tons of people smoking.
Mhm.
So we have like that air freshener, right? I can't at all attribute a return to it, but I know people love it because they comment on it.
Yeah.
When you spend a certain dollar threshold in the store, everybody leaves with a gift. If you spend above $3,000, you leave with a better gift. We have a logoed choice of True Flask tumblers or water flask. Um, I love spending on my customers. Those chocolate gifts in the mail. Love doing that. We do give us a review. You don't have to buy from us, but you give us a review in any format. You're in a review contest. We do a $500 gift card twice a year. I used to do $100 once a month. And then I looked in the box. I'm like, why have these 7 people not picked up their gift card yet? And it's just $100 to them. I was like, oh, I'll get to it when I get to it.
Yeah.
But
500 is a lot. Yeah.
twice a year, $500. Well, I saved $200, right?
Yeah.
Overall. And it's more of a big deal. So
Yeah.
I love spending on customers. You're 100% right to spend money to retain and delight and have them, be the ones to refer when that opportunity happens. Like I say this proudly, we work so hard to earn referrals and stay in touch with our customers that if they miss an opportunity to refer us, they should feel guilty.
Yeah.
Now, some might say that's an arrogant thing to say.
But here's the thing, like if you do business and your retention process and your client nurturing process is with that in mind,
Yep.
then you're going to come up with a lot more ideas. You're going to the things you'll do for your clients will be above and beyond. And that's the point, is that you have to do the work. You got to be above and beyond to where they're like, dude, I got to tell people about this.
Yep. Like we wrote a little book. It's got little sayings and positive thoughts about sleep and the power of sleep. It's a little nightstand book, little coffee table book. I'm in your bedroom, just not with a product you bought, but in another way that's meaningful. I'm in your kitchen cabinet, in your car with those hydro flasks that we give out. I'm in your email box. I'm in your community with a weekly podcast show, putting great highlight on local heroes and charities doing good.
Yeah.
Those 3 gifts have a thank you card and a tear off thing for referral that says, tear this off and put this on your fridge or in a place where you'll remember to refer us.
Yeah.
So I'm giving our customers, I like to say, I'm giving our customers the story to be told. We've given them an experience they behold that's special, right?
Yeah.
But I'm giving them easily the story to be told with those devices. Pass that book along, pass along that thank you card, forward this email. It's easy. So when I say they should feel guilty, it's because I've done the work to make it easy to refer.
Yeah. Man, this is powerful. This has been great. This has been a great podcast. This is one of my favorites so far because I learned so much. Thank you so much, Jeff, for
you're welcome,
and being on the podcast. If anyone and if you watched till now, then you definitely got value out of this. So if there's anyone watching that wants to learn more from you or wants to reach out about marketing help or tips or even coaching, what's the best place to connect with you on?
Yeah, so I created this site because we touched on a number of things. Maybe you connect on one thing more than another. That's fine. thejeffg.com. It's kind of like a little choose your own adventure contact site. So whatever piqued your interest, whatever you want to hear more on, connect more about, just go to thejeffg.com and the whole menu is right there. You pick your own adventure and I'll connect with you.
Awesome. That's fantastic. Jeff, thank you so much. The last question I have with all my guests is you have the opportunity to sit with, learn from, break bread with, and just absorb information from 3 individuals, anyone in history, alive or deceased. Who would they be and why?
3 individuals.
Yeah.
Winston Churchill.
That's a good one. Okay.
Because man, that guy put his chin up to the line and like stuck it out across.
A lot of people don't realize that Winston Churchill was severely disliked before he became prime minister. He was very disliked.
Yeah. I would love to hang with him. I'd like to hang with Rocky Patel, who
Okay.
makes cigars, because I'm a cigar guy. You can kind of see some of the cigar stuff up there.
Yeah.
And then from a marketing standpoint, probably David Ogilvy, who was
Okay.
one of the first big ad agency guys, but he kept the fact that what we're doing in advertising still has to turn into sales for the customer. You know, he wasn't like the other ad guys where it was this big grand idea and look how pretty the ad looks. He was that, but he was also like, hey, we gotta make sales. We gotta make hay for our customers. And he was a pretty special guy in the ad game. Those would be my three.
I like it. Those are
Yeah.
fantastic. Jeff, thank you so much. And for those of you watching, if you watched it now, then you definitely got value. I ask, and Jeff asks, that you share this content with somebody else that can also learn from it, especially when it comes to marketing, CRM management, workflows, client retention. There's so much information and just little nuggets that you can take away from this that you can start applying to your business today. And that's the point. And maybe just by you sharing this, somebody may be able to have, you may be able to have an impact on somebody else's business or their life. So it takes a 60 seconds to get a rate, review, subscribe, share, but it means the world to both Jeff and I. This has been the Be the Difference podcast. I'm your host, Greg Birch. Until next time, we'll see you.